In part one of Storytelling Fundamentals, we discussed first, second, and third person narration or points of view, how and when to use those. If you missed that episode, I encourage you to check it out here, or the link below. Ultimately, whichever one you choose, we should always keep in mind the reader's experience. However, narration isn't just about point of view. Storytelling is like making a cake, and one wrong ingredient or misstep, and you'll have a pancake instead. Narration comprises of layers. It isn't as simple as deciding which POV to use. There are other elements to consider, like immediacy, mood, tone, distance, and atmosphere, each working in concert together. These elements are parts of a whole, like a patchwork quilt, adding depth to your story. Understanding these elements will create compelling characters, a layered world, and set the right pace and tone. In today's video, we're going to establish our story's movement, pace, and tone. Hi, I'm Carmen Cady, author and entrepreneur. If you're new to the writing industry and are seeking practical steps to jumpstart your writing to publishing journey, this is the right place, where you'll gain expert level advice on writing and publishing and everything in between. Over the course of 3 videos, I've been talking about some fundamentals of storytelling. In this episode, part 2, we're untangling another element of narration, past, present, and future verb tenses. Whether you choose first, second, or third points of view, the action or movement of the story must be considered. Verb tenses are the vehicle of that action. They convey mood and tone and timing of the story. Your point of view drives the vehicle, but how it's driven is determined by verb tense. Let's review our POV examples from part 1. In this example, it was written in first person narration and the verb tense is present. My gaze darts between the 3 doors, numbered sequentially. Each beckons for my attention. I'm not partial to any of the options before me, but with 10 seconds left, the choice grows heavy as time slips away. My trembling hand grips the middle door's cold brass. I take a deep breath, turn the handle left, and pull. Present tense is an act, condition, or state in the present. The reader gets a sense of what the character is doing, thinking, feeling in the now moment as it's happening. However, you can write the same paragraph in past tense, where by doing so, the act, state, or condition occurs at some point, either explicitly or implicitly, in the past. It reflects what the character or POV did or experienced 1 second ago or perhaps 20 years ago. Let's check out an example of past tense. My gaze darted between the 3 doors, numbered sequentially. Each beckoned for my attention. I wasn't partial to any of the options before me, but with 10 seconds left, the choice grew heavier as time slipped away. I took a deep breath, grabbed the middle door's cold brass with my trembling hand, and twisting left, I pulled. As you can see with past tense, the distance between the action, character, and reader shifts compared to the distance in present tense, where in present tense, the action is in real time. With third-person narration, you can use either present or past tense as well. Here's our third-person POV example, present tense, from part 1 of the series. Adeline, standing in front of 3 doors, contemplates her options. 3 possibilities, each looming like thunder in the distant sky. These choices aren't appealing, but time isn't on her side. She glances to the east. The storm is close. Adeline must choose now. In present tense, we can feel Adeline's dilemma, as if it was our own dilemma. We're right there with her. Here's third-person narration past tense. Adeline stood contemplating her options, 3 possibilities, each looming like thunder in the distant sky. She didn't find any choice appealing, but time wasn't on her side. The storm was coming, and Adeline needed to choose. In this example, as a reader, the pace and mood differs from our present tense example. What's interesting is in the third person past tense, the action is happening now. She's contemplating the choices in front of her. We can see and feel that, but there's a slight bit of distance. I feel less pressure, less immediacy to the action. Again, like POV, either tense works, but whichever one you choose depends on the story you're telling, the mood or tone you want to create, and For some, the choice comes down to genre. But again, one over the other isn't wrong or right. Future tense perhaps is easier to grapple with. At some point, your point of view may suggest an event or act that will occur in the future, later this evening, tomorrow, next month, and the use of future tense action will be used. Will, the key word for future tense. Let's listen to an example. Adeline would have to choose a door when the time came. It didn't matter if she didn't like the 3 choices. Eventually, her time would run out, and she'd have a choice to make. Here, Adeline is thinking, or if this was dialogue, talking about something that will happen later. Many authors pick either present or past tense to convey their story. What you want to avoid is POV flip-flopping between past and present tenses. However, you'll notice tense changes in dialogue, exposition, or from chapter to chapter. For instance, in my book series, I have chapters where the main character is the primary narrator and it's in present tense, and other chapters feature another narrator in past tense. In dialogue, you can have all 3 tenses. Here's an example. James asks, "Did you hear what Sarah said to Stephen yesterday?" This is asking about something in the past. Bobby responds, "No, but I'll see Sarah later today and I'll ask her about it." This is a future action. And now James, there she is. James points down the hall. Let's ask her now. I'm curious to know what happened. This is happening in the present moment. To learn more about verb tenses and other grammar and writing conventions, the best resources are style guides specific to your industry. Commercial and literary fiction widely accepts the Chicago Manual of Style, and you can see one here on my bookshelf. However, for other industries such as scientific nonfiction writing, there are other style guides to choose from. For instance, when I was in graduate school, the style guide widely used and accepted for my field of study at the time was the APA Publication Manual. Find the style guide appropriate for what you're writing and follow its guidance. This wraps up part 2 on storytelling fundamentals. However, if you're struggling with any aspect along your writing to publishing journey, check out my affordable consultation services via my website, www.carmencady.com. The link is below. Thanks for checking this video out. Be sure to tune into part 3 on immediacy and distance in narration, the final episode of this series. And as always, click the like button and be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much.